called be, do, have. You know, most people, they operate backwards. They operate from have, do, be. Meaning, if I had $1 million, I'd do this and I'd do that, and I'd be this type of person. But the funny thing is, they act like the $1 million is gonna magically appear out of thin air, you know? But unless you're first being that millionaire, doing what the millionaires would do, aka taking the same actions, operating the same way, being that type of person, then you'll have those results. But unless you're being that millionaire, you're never gonna get the same results they do. And obviously your actions are taking you down this path, while their actions are taking them down another path. So what does this really mean to you and your business? Well, again, it depends on you and your goals. But for the sake of this program, well, I'm guessing all of you want to get your revenue up. So ask yourself, are you being that 7-figure earner? Because frankly, every 7, 8, 9, 10, or even 11-figure entrepreneur, they are being a different type of person than the average entrepreneur. They're being committed, they're being responsible, they're being integral. You see, you can always focus on changing your actions and behaviors, but those doing activities are rendered useless if you aren't being a specific type of person. You know what? Let me try and give you an analogy here that might give you a different perspective. It's kind of like, let's say you went camping with a bunch of friends, you know, and you brought a bucket for water. Yeah, in this analogy, in this scenario, no one came to camp in with water, so stick with me here. You brought a bucket for water, and there's a river down there. Well, you can go over there and be like, okay, I'm gonna focus on filling the bucket up. I'm gonna put as much water in there as possible so that I can bring it all back. Well, if you aren't being a balanced person, you're gonna spill all that water on your journey back. The point I'm trying to get across here is there are underlying ways of being that must be a part of your subconscious identity. AKA, you must focus every single day for about 2 to 3 months on being that type of person. And eventually, or I should say, the beauty in this is habits, man. I mean, we operate through habits. We talked about this last week. But essentially, every single day that you focus on ways of being, it's gonna get easier and easier. And eventually, it's gonna be like brushing your teeth. I mean, do you ever really think about brushing your teeth, or do you simply do it? You simply do it, and that's because of your habit. So we wanna get these ways of being into a habit, and the only way to go about it is by enforced action, by commitment. So you have to decide right now if you're truly committed to becoming the person that will hit your goals. So as you go throughout your day, I really want you to reflect on who are you being? You know, if times get tough and you start skipping out on the things you know you need to do because of your energy levels, your emotions, or your circumstances, ask yourself, are you really being the person you need to be in order to hit your goals? Now look, I do understand that life, it can be tough, you know. We're not robots, we are humans, we have emotions. But one thing I want to mention is, in these moments of weakness, where you don't feel motivated, you have to realize that your brain is going to try and trick you. Because remember, your brain sees all your habits as a survival mechanism. And what happens is, when you start trying to change your habits, you try and improve yourself by changing your habits, lots of times you can hear this voice in your head. And what it does is it tries tricking you. It tries telling you reasons logically why you shouldn't change. And look, lots of the times they are logical, but you have to understand that this is your brain trying to trick you. Your thoughts are not you. I mean, think about it. Your thoughts randomly pop up in your head. You're not in control of when they come up, and that's why so many people, they're just constantly being bombarded by thoughts. I mean, you are not the creator of your thoughts. They come into your head. So in these moments of weakness, where you lack motivation, you really have to ask yourself, how are you gonna feel in 2, 3, or 4 years from now if your business is exactly where it is now? If you don't change anything and your business is still stuck? How are you gonna feel if you're still this frustrated? How are you gonna feel if you're still spending 8 to 12 hours a day only to get little growth? I mean, you likely know how you're gonna feel, because every month that you don't change, all your problems continue to grow. How you feel about yourself diminishes, your self-worth, your confidence, your self-belief. It all gets pummeled. So don't let that happen to you. You are the creator of your life. You have to start being a different person in order to get different results. So I think you understand the main takeaway from this lesson, but there's still a few more things that I want to talk about before I let you go on to this week's lesson. And one of those is that you must be aware. You see, without awareness, transformation isn't possible. Random little scenario here, but let's say you pick your nose a ton, it's a nasty habit, you don't want it anymore. If you aren't aware that you even pick your nose as you go throughout your day, you aren't gonna be able to change that habit. Awareness is absolutely necessary if you want to create change or transformation. So with that being said, you may find yourself moving in a very high, fast pace. Maybe you're just going like from one activity to the next, and you don't have that calm, cool, and collected mind. Well, in this case, you need to make sure that you're aware. And what I would recommend that you do is have a morning routine. Spend 30 to 60 minutes in the morning to meditate, to stretch, to do breath work, to go on a walk, whatever it is. Because the reality is everyone is different, but you have to start learning how to ground yourself so that you can be aware. Because frankly, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you aren't aware of your actions and behaviors, this program isn't gonna get you the results you desire. I can't do the work for you. You have to be aware, you have to be committed, and you have to start